All right, August 20th, 2022 is a huge day for British combat sports fans. Of course, in Salt Lake City, we have Leon Rocky Edwards going up against potentially the pound for pound number one, Kamaru Usman, for the welterweight championship in the UFC. And of course, August 20th, also in Saudi Arabia, we have Anthony Joshua rematching Oleksandr Usyk. So two massive title fights on opposite ends of the planet almost, and it's going to be a good one. I only wish I could be there for both, but I can't. So I'm going to be there for none. I'm going to be in Bulgaria shooting a movie. What a nice surprise. But I will be watching very, very closely. Now, let's talk about Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. In the first fight, Usyk was just a better boxer. It's as simple as that. You know, Joshua is a big man. He's a great athlete. He's had an incredible career. I am not going to sit here and criticize Anthony Joshua. What he has achieved in the combat sports world, in boxing, in the sweet science, is unbelievable. You know what I mean? It really is. What a career he has had. It's unreal. He's made a tremendous amount of money. He's world famous. He's truly one of the greatest heavyweights that we have alive today. Okay, but when he went up against Oleksandr Usyk, you saw some flaws. You saw some of his limitations. Let's put it that way. He's a big guy. He's athletic. He's fast. He's quick. He's clearly very strong. But he's also kind of static. You know, he doesn't have the best movement, and he kind of has a limited attack. Against Oleksandr Usyk, he was just on fire. Usyk boxed the hell out of him. It was a boxing lesson. It was. Listen, I'm a Joshua fan. I'm English, for crying out loud. You know, so I want Anthony Joshua to win. But after watching that against Oleksandr Usyk, what Usyk did, I was so inspired. As a fan, as somebody that understands the sport, understands the finer nuances, the footwork, etc., the combinations, the shot selection, it is impossible not to look at that performance and just say, wow. He was just too much. Joshua couldn't get to him. He couldn't pin him down. He was too fast. He would get in, he would land his attack, he would pivot off, he was just all over the place. He was moving around and Joshua couldn't find him. And as the fight progressed, I think Joshua was getting more and more frustrated. And when you get frustrated, you start to make mistakes. And that's what we saw. He started to make mistakes, started to get a little desperate. He was leaving more openings. And Usyk was finding the mark big time. And as the fight progressed, it looked like he could have almost finished him on a couple of occasions. So the rematch is going down August 20th, as I said. And it's a big fight. You know, for Usyk, there's a lot at stake. For Anthony Joshua, there's a lot at stake. And I'm not just talking about winning and losing the fight. Of course, that is first and foremost in their minds. You know, when you go into a fight, the reality is, you know, bad things can happen. In boxing, people lose their life frequently. So that is priority number one. But outside of that, Anthony Joshua has got his legacy to think about. Of course, you know, he did lose to Andy Ruiz. He got knocked out, he came back, he got revenge, and then he loses to Oleksandr Usyk. Of course, the fight that everybody wanted to see, if you're a British boxing fan, was Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury says that he's retired now, and it's going to be $500 million to get him back. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he's talking. Apparently he's fighting the big strong man, the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Who am I fighting?
Does it matter?
That's hilarious. I don't know why he's doing that, but hey, fuck it. Keeps him busy, keeps him making money. But Joshua versus Tyson is the fight that everyone wants to see. There's no way this fight happens if Joshua loses this fight. And then also for him, if he wants to continue to be one of the best, if Joshua wants to go down in history as potentially the best British fighter that we had, and champion of the world, that's more important, then he has to win this fight. Because one has to think, and I'm not trying to be negative here, but one has to think that if Joshua loses this fight, it's the end of the road. I mean, what more is he going to do? You know, is he going to come back and try and claw his way back to the top? He's been there, done it, got the t-shirt. He's made a tremendous amount of money. He has achieved everything you want to achieve by getting involved in combat sports. And if he loses this one, he's lost his last two. He lost to Andy Ruiz. And certainly those big mega fights, the opportunities for them have sailed. So there's a lot of pressure there for Anthony Joshua, a lot of pressure. For Oleksandr Usyk, for crying out loud, his country's being invaded by Russia. His people are dying every single day. You know, so when he goes in there, of course he's got the stress of that. He's got the trauma of that. He's got all those distractions of when he's training. You know what I mean? I can only imagine what that's like. I mean, it's bad enough having a nagging wife. It's bad enough having children that are annoying. It's bad enough having arguments with your teammates or your coaches. Imagine training for a massive fight like this and your home country's being fucking invaded by the Russians and people are dying every single day. Brothers that you know, training partners, family, friends, cousins, friends of friends. Fuck me. Talk about a distraction. So there's that, first of all. And then, of course, he wants to inspire his nation. Somebody like Oleksandr Usyk going out there and winning and beating Anthony Joshua and winning this fight and sending a huge message that is going to inspire them to keep fighting, to stay strong, to show them that potentially anything is possible. You know, so there's that to think about as well. You know, so anyway, how does the fight go down? I don't think it goes down much different than the first one. All the people, all the pundits and so-called experts are all saying, well, Joshua's the bigger man. He's got to bully him. He's got to use his size. He's got to use his strength. What do they mean? Of course, you want to kind of corner him. You want to lean on him. You want to slow him down. You want to limit the movement of the smaller, faster guy, the nimble guy. But you can't clinch for too long, right? And if Joshua goes forward and tries to be over-aggressive again, that might leave him open to counters, okay? Usyk has incredible footwork, so if you're trying to corner him, you know, a couple of feints, 1, 2, pivot off you go, boom, all of a sudden he's not there. That is what Usyk's going to do. That's what he's going to try and do. Joshua's going to have to try and cut the cage off, the ring off, pardon me. He's going to have to cut the ring off, back him up into the corner and try and get him there and fight him there. Try and clinch a lot, but of course we know the referee will break that up pretty quickly. I think Joshua's going to come in extremely motivated. He's going to come in with a fantastic game plan. And I think he's going to do a lot better. But I just think, and maybe I'm wrong, and I want Joshua to win, although I wouldn't be mad if Usyk won either because of what they're going through over there. But I just don't see how Joshua from the first fight, I just don't see a path to victory. I really don't. Usyk showed himself to be the better boxer, to have the better footwork, to have the higher fight IQ, if I'm honest. And I'm saying that as a fan of Anthony Joshua, so don't fucking go mad at me, all you British boxing fans. The common knowledge is a good big one beats a good small one, okay? And that's true. But I think the level of skill that Usyk has is far greater to close or to dispel that myth or that common logic, you know? And Usyk's not exactly small. He's not a fucking welterweight, is he? He's still a good size. He's a big man. He hits hard enough to have Joshua respecting him as well. So anyway, there is August 20th, and of course in Salt Lake City we got Leon Edwards as well. Could you imagine if Joshua wins though, reclaims that title? Could you imagine if Leon Edwards goes out there and upsets the world of the UFC and beats Kamaru Usman? I mean, what a day for British combat sports. Leon Edwards, what a guy that is. He's on an 11-fight unbeaten streak. The man's sensational. He's a tremendous striker. The grappling's getting better all the time. And I think he's going to give Kamaru Usman a very, very tough time. I'm not saying that he wins. Kamaru Usman deserves a tremendous amount of respect. But I'm going to break that fight down in more detail a little nearer to the time. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Hope you're all well. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done so. I'll see you soon.